Hello everybody and welcome, or indeed welcome back to the channel. Now, it's been such a long time since I last did a video. You must have thought I died and gone to heaven, but no, I'm still here. I've just been really busy doing work, doing stuff in the garden. I've got a little bit of news about the allotment and I've got lots to tell you about the garden. So let me flip the camera and take you on a little tour of the greenhouse and the garden, and then I'll come back to you in the greenhouse and I'll give you an update on the allotment. Well, first of all, as always, we need to say hello to the greenhouse mascot, Goose. Hello, Goose. Let's whiz over here. Now, here are my cucumber plants growing up the obelisk. I'm really pleased to say that from here, I've probably already harvested 4 or 5 decent sized cucumbers. We've got one just growing in there, looking good. Some little spikes on these cucumbers, they just brush off actually. I think I've still got one cucumber in the fridge ready to be eaten up. So I probably think I might have that for my dinner, or with my dinner tonight. So they're growing well. This one's only a little baby one. Let me just zoom out a little bit, that's better. This is just a little baby one, not doing very much, but as you can see, this one up here has rocketed to the top. We've got a little one just coming through here. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how this has gone. Would I do anything different next year? I'm not quite sure. I'm really pleased with how it's gone. If you've got any tips and advice on how I can maybe grow them taller and get more produce, then please let me know. My tomato plants have been, again, a roaring success. Still got plenty of green ones on here, as you can see. Got one here that's just in the process of ripening. I've probably harvested maybe 8 or 10 tomatoes from it so far, and we've still got some flowers coming through here, so I'm expecting some more fruit over the next coming few weeks. Certainly need to give them a really good water today. Let's nip outside. I've got some outdoor tomatoes here, not doing very much. They're the same variety as the ones that are on the inside there. Just some tidgy tomatoes coming through here. So we'll see how those go. I think I've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 8 plants in there. We'll see how they go. If you've seen my previous videos, you'll know about the trauma that we had with these lupins. Well, we've got this one coming through. These are still the baby ones. They're not doing anything much at all. I think I managed to rescue 5. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 there. So we'll see what happens with these. These all came from the seeds from one lupin plant that I had last year. Spring onions, not doing very much, but certainly present. And we might be able to harvest something from there at some point soon. In my last video, I harvested the potatoes from here, my first early potatoes, and I replaced, I planted in their place these butternut squash plants, one here and one here. Well, as you can see, the slugs have had an absolute feast on these, so I'm not sure that we're going to get any produce from them whatsoever. They looked great when I first put them in, and then within a couple of days the slugs had arrived and attacked them. But very soon I'm hoping to harvest my main crop potatoes from here and from here, so look out for that video. This is this was looking fantastic up until maybe a week or so ago. This here was my curly kale, or is my curly kale, but as you can see again, the slugs have had a field day. Slugs or caterpillars, I'm not sure, because I did notice the other day a couple of white butterflies actually trapped inside here. They've since gone. I think they've laid their eggs and the caterpillars have had a feast. And over here we've got not very much happening whatsoever, the Swiss chard. So I need to have a rethink about these two and see what we can do in the future to have a bit more of a more successful crop. This was a huge success. Unfortunately, as you can see, it's all died back now, but these were my peas. What I need to do now is take off some of these pods here, crack them open, harvest some of these peas here and save them for seeds for next year. I think what happened here is the general intention was for these to be snackable peas when we came out into the garden. We did that on a few occasions, but really we've not used the garden very much. I think partially because of the terrible weather that we had, and then we had roasting hot weather, and because we've not harvested these, they've just sat on here and dried up. So look, we'll use them for seeds for next year. So I need to go through all this, give it all a good tidy up and harvest these seeds for next year. In here, well, I've got some good looking strawberry plants which hopefully will give us a good crop next year. We didn't do very well this year. Here again, some good strawberry plants, and they've already been sending out runners and setting new plants, which is, this is a new plant. I harvested a few of them and put them in pots just to try and keep them separate, and I'll find another home for these for next year. And I've been chopping back this mint so it doesn't go too crazy and take over. And what I did do is actually from some of those cuttings, I planted them up, and we've got a few more mint plants here. What is this one? Let's have a look. Orange mint. So there we go. We'll find a home for that later. These are some nasturtiums that I planted. This, I'm not sure what this is. It's got a little bit of a look of, what was in here before the nasturtiums? I can't remember. A borage. It's got a little bit of a look of a borage plant. I don't think it is. But anyway, what I need to do is deal with all this. These nasturtiums were absolutely decimated by caterpillars. But, well, it served a purpose anyway, and it looked good for a short while. Let's whiz over here. Hello, Hamish. Woof. I've turned this little planter into a mint planter. So we've got some, what's this one? Chocolate pepper, some good old traditional garden mint, some Thai mint and some spearmint. I did plant in here some sunflowers, and they didn't do very well at all, but we had a couple of small flowers. They were supposed to be Russian giants, and I was expecting something spectacular, and in fact it was rather pathetic. So anyway, that's going to be my mint planter. Up here, however, and I should have really shown you this much sooner, but you can see here, look, these are my sweet peas. And I always expected these two fence panels here to be an absolute wall of colour, and they are, and they have been. Now, unfortunately, you can see how they've all sagged down here and here. Now, what happened is this string that I used to tie them up with, when it gets wet, it stretches. It got wet. We had the gales recently, which pulled all of it down. It stretched the string, and that's what's resulted in it all buckling here. Look, you can see the string coming along here. So look, it served a great purpose, because we've been harvesting these beautiful flowers and putting them indoors in a lovely little vases for what feels like a good few months now. And all this from just, I think, 18 plants. Now, I'm not quite sure what the correct term is, but look, you can see we've got all these seed pods that have appeared. I now need to harvest these and save them to sow next year. Now, all these plants came from, how many was it? 18 plants from 36 seeds that I sowed originally. I'm pretty certain that I'm going to have way more than 36 seeds coming from all of these pods. So next year, I'm thinking about, number one, making a more robust trellis, and number two, adding a trellis on that fence panel there and that fence panel there. So we'll have 4 fence panels of sweet peas on a more robust trellis for all of the, hopefully, all of the little plants that we will grow from all of these seed pods. But until then, I will keep harvesting some of these lovely sweet pea flowers and taking them indoors. Let me show you some other things that are going on. My blueberry bush is thriving in the corner there. You can see all this lovely new growth that's come through since it stopped fruiting. So I have high hopes for this next year when it starts to grow again and fruit. But for now, I'm really pleased with that. My 2 climbing roses have stopped flowering, and they have been putting on some fresh new growth. So that's good news. There's that one, and there's the other one there. And let me show you this. This is one for Kenroy of the Malcolms. This is where I planted the gooseberry bush, something's been eating at the leaves. So I'm not quite sure how healthy this is at the moment. I'm keeping it well watered. We've got some roots coming out at the bottom, so it might want actually very soon to be planted on, perhaps. I'm not quite sure. I need to do some research and find out what I need to do with that. Here are my conker trees. So I think the plan with these is to maybe phantom plant them, find somewhere outdoors in a field somewhere and plant them. And see how they mature. I think my children's school might be doing some tree planting very soon, so I might be able to donate 1 or 2 of these to the school. But again, look at that, that's looking rather good. And there we've got what, 1, 2, 3 in there. That one's not doing so well there. And here we've got one which is still quite strong and healthy looking, but we've got some browning leaves. Anyway, I think that's probably it for now. Let's whiz back into the greenhouse. So there you go, a little swift tour of the greenhouse and the garden. It's been year 1 for me. So much to learn, lots of failures, as you've probably seen from the previous videos, particularly with the tomato plants, which just wouldn't germinate. Then they germinated and they got scorched by the sun, so I had to start again. And I'm really pleased that we've managed to get some decent tomato plants back there, giving us some tomatoes to use in the kitchen. I have already started to harvest some of these peas here. These are the green, I can't remember what they're called. I'll put the name of it on the video at the bottom. But these are way more peas here that I will use as seeds than what I started with, and I've still got hundreds over there to harvest. I've also started to harvest some of the sweet pea seeds, which are absolutely tiny. Here they are. But again, as I said earlier on, I'm sure I'm going to have hundreds of sweet pea seeds to carry forward to next year. Shall we have a talk about the allotment? I think what we discovered very quickly is allotments need a lot of time investment and financial investment. And I've come to the decision that I think I want to be spending my time and my money right here in my garden and in my greenhouse. I've got plans, as I've said already. You know, I want to extend the sweet pea area. I want to next year hopefully do better with the cucumbers and with the tomatoes, but I'm really pleased with how they are already this year. If you saw my previous video where I harvested the first early potatoes, you will have seen that I got a harvest. It wasn't a huge harvest, maybe 20 potatoes, so maybe next year I can grow some more in more buckets and we'll have a better harvest. I'd like to try again here with the kale and with the Swiss chard, and I'm hoping again here next year we'll have a better outcome with the strawberries. So as you can tell, there's lots that I want to do, but I want to do it here at home where I can keep a close eye on it and I can develop this into something big and wonderful. And it's here where I want to spend my time and money, not at the allotment. So only this week, unfortunately, I've had to let the people at the allotment know that thank you, but no thanks. And we've relinquished the allotment, which is sad. It would have been a great thing to be able to do and to build up and to mature. But also because we don't have the time to be able to spend there, we were neglecting it slightly. And I know that there are people on a waiting list wanting to take advantage of an allotment. So it was unfair of me to hold on to it, knowing that there were people on a waiting list who probably do have the time to invest in making it something big and wonderful. So there you go, that's the update with regards to the allotment. I've shown you around the garden. I think I'm going to sign off now. I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. Apologies for not being more present. And I will try to give you more updates as to what's going on in my garden and my greenhouse over the coming weeks. But for now, thanks for watching and bye-bye.